Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where my Roomba isn't working because it refuses to vacuum, the one thing it's built to do. Today we're covering the final story in Batman number 2, The Case of the Missing Link. A very problematic story, and you thought the other stories I said were problematic? My god, you've seen nothing yet. So we open with Batman jumping onto the top of a train. Awesome, great. I love train fights on top of a train, they're always good. Except when you find out that he's fighting African pygmies. You heard me right. African pygmies. In the loincloths and everything. They're just shooting arrows at him, and Batman is cracking wise by their height. He's making short jokes. Jesus Christ, Batman. Everything about this. But don't worry, it gets worse. So he eventually defeats all the pygmies and finds what they were after. That was Professor Drake. Professor Drake has taken a giant white man that they were worshipping as a god. Yeah, okay. It's almost impressive how much worse this comic keeps getting. Drake stole their god. I know he's not actually God, but maybe they were in the right because he basically just kidnapped a dude. They worship a tall white man. Ugh. And he plans to civilize him and has made him, with some mental trickery, think that Professor Drake himself is the Goliath's god. He calls him Goliath. It's not actually a big deal because it's not brought up all that much. He's just a big giant. And he's supposed to be the missing link, though, because they wanted to have fun with the giant. They say he has a glandular problem. Well, Batman's very proud about the fact he just beat up these pygmies to protect this doctor after he kidnapped a big tall man. We should really call Batman the champion of the colonizers at this point. Jesus Christ, Batman. Once in town, he's trying to civilize the giant, who's very safe and passive around Professor Drake. The circus finds out, specifically a circus ran by two very mobster-feeling men, who then go and see Professor Drake, offering him to show him at the circus and make a boatload of money. He throws them out. Turns out they are very mobster-related, and they're going to send their guys to deal with Professor Drake and get Goliath. No, this is actually the second story, if we count a Superman story I just read, where it seems that the circus is run by organized crime. I know circuses were pushed around by, racketeering and protection rackets, but I never heard of them being actually run by mobs. Be interested to see if that's an actual thing. Batman, after hearing who specifically wanted them, decides that the best idea is to leave Robin as a guard. I don't know, Batman, leaving the preteen to guard this doesn't seem like the best idea, and I'm actually right, because Robin completely misses as Professor Drake is shot in the head and made to look like a suicide. He's too busy just watching Goliath, who honestly is the one thing that you probably don't have to watch here. He runs right away to tell Batman. Goliath sees, man, he just runs away and goes and tells Batman. He does fight them off a bit, so we don't see him get his butt whooped for God knows how many times. That ended last issue with the fact that he didn't get whooped, but he still runs away. Goliath sees the man who killed Professor Drake and then sees Professor Drake dead and kind of goes into a comatose state. The next day in the paper, it says that Drake committed suicide and left Goliath to the circus. Wow, that doesn't sound suspicious, especially after the fact he told Batman that they were kind of threatening him. But we're just going to have to bide our time and let this happen. Of course, at the circus, things seem to be going right until he recognizes Grimes, the man who killed Professor Drake, and goes on a rampage they can't stop. Batman and Robin arrive and have to deal with the lions and elephants and all the other animals on a rampage. Goliath is completely gone at this point. He's killed Grimes, pretty horrifically. He picks him up and just slams him against the metal pillar. It's almost kind of gruesome. Not depicted gruesome, but that's a pretty hardcore way of killing someone. Once he runs into Robin, he throws Robin up in the air, but Robin catches the trapeze, because let's not forget, he is a circus child. He's very upset about Robin surviving, so he climbs after Robin. Robin and him sort of get into a fight where Batman shows up and throws rope around him, and with the help of his slingshot, Robin hits him in the head and sends him falling. This is the second David versus Goliath moment with Robin in that slingshot. Not in this issue, just overall. And Goliath falls and smacks his head into the ground with, as it's described, a sickening thud, killing Goliath. Jesus, Batman. Didn't have to kill him. I'm sure this whole society that worshipped him is going to do fine with now that he's been kidnapped and killed. Jesus Christ. So many problems. Batman actually feels bad about it, not in a it was beauty that killed the beast sort of way, but in a he was only after revenge for someone killing someone he loved, which is very close to Batman. In fact, he should have made him Bat-Goliath, trained him of the ways of the Batman. Kind of into this now. We should have done that. Though the whole white god thing would feel very the Phantom. Talk about a problematic comic. And that's basically it from the case of the missing link, Batman #2, and finally finishes Batman #2. It's so surprising how downhill Batman #2, with it starting with the Joker meeting Catwoman and then ending on a racist African pygmy story and giant white guys. So if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Mondays and Thursdays I cover a Superman story in either Action Comics or Superman. And please join us next time, same bat time, same comic book channel. Have a great day.